votes on making healthcare a constitutional right. Yes, you heard me right. With the midterms around the corner, Oregon could make history as the first state to make healthcare a constitutional right. You go ahead on, Oregon, with your bad self. So the historic proposal on the ballot is measure 111. And let me break this down. A yes vote supports amending the state constitution to require that the state, quote, ensures that every resident of Oregon has access to cost-effective, clinically appropriate, and affordable healthcare as a fundamental right, end quote, as a fundamental right. Can I just say hello, somebody on that? This is a beautiful thing. Oregon, you go ahead. And this will be a huge step forward, not just for Oregon, but for across the country, because we know when one state does it, usually other states will follow. The first one to do something makes it a lot easier for the next and the next and the next and the next. And if the states do it, it will just be a matter of time before the feds will have to do it too. We're gonna keep pushing for this to happen. Now, President Harry Truman recognized this back in 1945. Check out this quote from the president. He said, everyone, now this is 1945, everyone should have ready access to all necessary medical, hospital, and related services. That's President Harry Truman, the 33rd president of the United States of America. And such measure would be absolutely vital to millions of people without proper healthcare insurance. We know that there are millions of people in this country who are either uninsured or underinsured. When you are underinsured, the fact that you have insurance, but it is not enough. You still have to dip into your own pocket to finish paying for your health care. This is a crisis point. And let me remind all of us that we are indeed the only industrialized nation on the face of the flipping earth. Choose your F word. On the face of the flipping earth that does not guarantee universal health care for all of our people in this country. We are the wealthiest country. We are a hegemon nation, but yet and still we do not guarantee healthcare. There's something wrong with that. It has always been something wrong with that, but it is especially something wrong with that in the 21st century and also in the face of a global pandemic. I want you to wrap your minds around that. So check out this data from a survey by the Commonwealth Fund. Let's take a look at that. 43% of working age adults were inadequately insured. 46% said they had skipped or delayed care because of the cost. 42% said they had a problem paying medical bills or were paying off medical debt. And that doesn't factor in the 26 million Americans currently without healthcare at this very moment. The commodification of healthcare is dangerous and it literally kills people. Mayor Robinson.
This is a supposedly, if you ask the right, this is a Christian nation, right? And I think the immature state of our nation state allows for people to see Oregon's move to make healthcare a universal thing for all of its residents. Is because we have a body, a voting body that is not really worldly at all. We're the only country in North America that does not have universal health care. The Bible says what you do for the least amongst these, right? So I'm trying to figure out how they juxtapose that and also call themselves evangelical. Ain't nothing evan about them at all. So I will say this, you named it. You said we're the only industrialized nation in the world that does not. 10 nations in Africa, many nations in Asia. We're one of the few countries that have, well, we're actually the only country that have the ability to provide people with healthcare, but would rather let them die. But I mean, like we should also consider what you said, the 33rd president said, and what was going on in the world right before then and during his life. It wasn't always that people looked down upon the poor. If you consider when this country had a Great Depression, the white people were those who received benefits from the country and the nation, and everybody made sure that those that didn't have could have. It wasn't until Black veterans started coming back demanding that we all be equal, that all of us have access to these resources, that it became a problem. We're so blind into how we see healthcare and people's right to healthcare that we will allow people to make profit off of insulin. I ain't talking about regular profit. I'm talking about corporate greed, Apple level of profit off of insulin. People are losing legs and lives to diabetes when we have our right to our southern border, Cuba, no black people are losing their limbs to diabetes. People walk around living healthy lives because of free medical. And Cuba's had free medical since 73. So I think it's absolutely disgusting that Americans ready to pump their chest about being the greatest nation when they can't even insure 46% of the people, not even counting the 26 million that don't even exist to the healthcare industry.
Come on, Mayor. You just laid that out. I'm sitting up here about to jump out of my chair and out of my skin on that. What you do to the least of these, you do to me. The mayor said ain't nothing evangelical about withholding healthcare. The commodification of healthcare in the United States of America is an absolute disgrace. Private insurance continue to make billions of dollars as they exploit the everyday American. That is the commodification part of this. So 2021 profits for top insurance providers, United Health Group, $17.3 billion. CVS Health, $7.9 billion. Anthem, $6.1 billion. Cigna, $5.4 billion. I mean, this is unfettered greed. That is what this is. We just got to call it what it is. And we do not really, I mean, as much as it pains me to say this, we don't have a healthcare system in the United States of America. We have a sick care system in the United States of America. It is one that even if your doctor prescribes you medication, if the doctor writes out a script telling you all the things that you need, that insurance companies can turn you down. That's not healthcare. That's commodification care within a sick care system, and it is sick. Measure 111, measure 111 could open the doors to a broader discussion on universal healthcare, and we really do want that to happen. Oregon, we shouting you out right now. Healthcare, which I am a proponent of. I've always been a proponent of that. Many of you know I was rocking hard with Senator Bernard Sanders. That was one of his #1 issues. It continues to be. There are a lot of activists and advocates out there who understand that we cannot have a nation that is secure without securing the greatest wealth that anybody can have, and that is their health, because they cannot do any other thing unless they are healthy. And part of being healthy is being able to get the prescription drugs that you need, either to survive. And the mayor laid out insulin is something that people need to survive. Babies need medicine. Last time I checked, anybody that's a human, anybody, any age, will need to have some type of medication. And the fact that this system is so cruel is in fact an abomination. It is a stain on this nation. And those of us who believe that this thing right here is not right, we must continue to push and continue to make a daggone demand. And most Americans do believe in universal healthcare, contrary to what the talking heads may say. Don't let these folks fool you. Most people do, and it has nothing to do with political ideology, because it doesn't matter how you lean politically. Being human means that you will get sick from time to time. Being human means you will need to see a doctor from time to time. Being human means that if in fact you don't have a trust fund, or you don't have a sugar daddy or a sugar mama. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the sugar daddies and the sugar mamas all the time. If you don't have one, that means that you work for a living. And if you ever had a healthcare crisis, even if you are blessed enough to be at the top of the working class, you just are one major health scare away from everything being wiped out. So why can't we have these things? We can have nice things in the United States of America. We had some elected officials on that federal level in particular who had a backbone. That's what we don't have. So Oregon, come through. So let's go and look at this poll. This poll, the 2022 Associated Press did a poll. Some 2/3 of Americans believe it is up to the federal government to ensure people have health care, up from roughly 57% in 2019, according to the survey. More and more Americans, as the years go by, understand how critical it is for us to have a healthcare. And it's another reminder of how far behind we are with the rest of the world. Let's put up this map because I want you to see it. I know you're listening to me, to see how far we are. Y'all see it? You see all that blue? You see all that beautiful aqua? Because that's aqua. You see it? And then, you see us. Something is wrong with us. by not providing universal health care in the United States of America. And Mayor, I really do believe if there was ever a time to go bold during a pandemic, is a great time to go bold.
Indeed. I mean, but we saw them give more money to police departments than we did to people during COVID. So we know there's no boldness in the spines of those in DC. That 535 people there, we cannot depend on them to do what we need to do. And there are a couple, you name one of them, Bernie Sanders. I think Elizabeth Warren is one of those. I think, but that ain't enough. And the fact that we keep sending these people back, I tell people all the time, specifically Black men, it's nothing revolutionary about electing somebody. It's revolutionary when you unelect an incumbent. That's the different thing. So I think we need to do some more unelecting of incumbents so that Oregon is not out here looking like it's the only one. 36.7 billion is the number you called out just for those top 5 companies. That is absolutely disgusting. And I think some lawyer on our side of the aisle to see the world that we see the world and believe that people should be able to die with dignity, that have a family member that died. Everybody that didn't have a family or had a family member that died, didn't have health insurance, should bring charges against every one of these companies.